Hey everyone, welcome back to See You Next Thursday. I am Willow of Pixie Retreat.
And I'm Tree.
And today we thought that we would talk about basically healthcare versus sick care and why we should all really be advocating for ourselves. And we're really kind of sitting in that place right now because Teresa had a really bad car accident. And so neither one of us has really found ourselves in the healthcare system and
For a
now
long time.
for quite a while, and now here we are. So do you want to kind of speak to what you've been thinking about?
Well, our work for so many years and what we're so passionate about is our personal health care. In other words, taking care of our well-being and our health through food, through movement, through yoga, through mindset, through the things that we take in, reading and what we listen to, etc. And it's interesting to find myself moving through the system of healthcare in America, which is,
You've been calling it sick care.
I feel that it's sick care. I mean, I grew up in a family of medical professionals, and I believe in it, in the context of when emergency and things like that. On a day-to-day practice, I really believe in advocating for self because I feel like nobody's going to advocate for yourself better than you. And moving through what I've been moving through, I feel like, and we talk about this, that we're looked at as pieces. It's this one doctor, and then you go to the next doctor and the next one, and they're all, it's kind of segmented. And it's just really important to take charge of your personal well-being and adopt practices to advocate for yourself, to basically keep yourself out of that system, I think is really
What you're saying, how you're feeling?
pretty much. And how I felt prior as well. Because I think, number one, it's very expensive. Number two, it seems disjointed.
It also seems like they just really want to get you onto some sort of a prescription.
Drugs.
And then like the latest thing that has been a conversation is these steroid injections. And it's so crazy because we're both really high right now on liver love, on really taking care of our liver. And so literally since April of 2024, we have been doing these liver cleanses every 6 weeks.
And even prior to that, for
And
years,
prior, but we've been on like
more
we
regimented.
basically we had basically set forward as a goal to do this for an entire year every 6 weeks and see how, see what comes of it, see what happens, see what kinds of things we can take care of ourselves in
how
our
we
bodies.
elevate
How we what? How we elevate.
our being.
So it's just interesting that this is where we're sitting right now, and it's like the latest thing that is being prescribed are these steroid injections, and it's like it almost seems like all they really want to do is suppress the symptoms because that's what the steroid injections are going to do. They're going to suppress a symptom but not get rid of it. And so what's the point of, okay, let me back off of that just for a second. I understand the point being that if you're in a lot of pain and you need to get in front of it, I understand that. But if really all it's going to do is suppress something, why not maybe look at this from a couple of other angles?
Well, because the healthcare system, air quotes, they're making money off of prescription medication, off of treatments. And oftentimes these treatments, unless it's emergency, how do I put this? It's not getting to the root cause. And the root cause is always within ourselves. And we do these liver cleanses to break up the junk that's been in our livers potentially since we were born.
Some of it, and then with all this stuff that's going on right now in our environment, in our water, in our soil, in our food. But something that I've really been thinking about lately is that, okay, I'm approaching 60. It's like that's my next big age. I'll be 59 in a couple of months, and it is definitely factual that if we get to live this long as I've lived, that over time, everything that we've done, good, bad, and otherwise, everything that I've put into my system or depleted from myself over this last 58, almost 59 years, it's going to have, I'm going to start seeing some of the effects of that, good, bad, and otherwise. And part of this thing with the liver cleanse that we've been doing is that the liver is the storehouse of all of the toxins that come into our bodies. And when we are consistently taking in toxins and then not allowing the liver to do its natural daily cleanse, which is between, at night when we're sleeping, the liver's taking out the trash. It's like it's getting stuff together from the day before to take out into the trash the following morning, which is why we do these morning cleanses when we're not liver cleansing, which means we're not taking in any radical fat until afternoon so that the liver can flush the toxins from the day before. But if we're not allowing for that to happen, which most of us aren't, most of us have no clue, which is not good, bad, or anything else, it's just what it is, then we are getting these buildups in our liver. And I've said it before, there's 3 layers to the liver. And that central portion of the liver, the core of the liver, holds and hangs onto the oldest and the most toxic of the toxins. But over time, it has to start releasing some of them, and so we find ourselves getting sick. So it kind of brings me right back around to what it is we're talking about needing to really advocate for self, and to, as we advance in our aging process, to start doing things that just give the liver a little bit of a break.
Well, it's like we detox to retox.
Yeah, and we do it too.
We do it in our, we have our ways that we retox.
Yeah.
But we know what they are. And when we
like
take in...
I ate 3 vegan donuts in a row that they were not organic. I'm sure were loaded with sugar. I know that they had gluten, but I love a donut. And so whenever I find a really good vegan one, I tend to go for it. So I had just done a big liver cleanse, and then what did I do?
Well,
I turned right around and just,
You don't do that very often.
No,
but,
I don't.
But and
I love them.
The pharmaceutical drugs are a lot more hardcore. And let me just say, when you're in acute pain, which I've been in, when you're having an acute phase of dealing with something that's like scary and fearful, then yes, certain protocols they might be needed. So I'm not going to take that away from people or myself, because I've found myself in that situation. I'm just saying that what we're talking about is personal health care, and how do we go about navigating and advocating. I was going to say this, navigating and advocating at the same time for self, when we find ourselves in fearful situations where we don't know where to start, and then we move through the system, and then next thing you know, we have all of these bills that we're confronted with.
Which also make our mindsets a little more freaked out, and that works against
let me just
healing.
Say, some of the tests, like the MRIs and the CTs, and they're super valuable to get to the
root.
Well,
no, not
maybe
the root.
not the root, but a flare, a symptom that you're experiencing. And so, when you uncover that, the diagnostics of what you're dealing with, what I'm dealing with, then it's valuable information. And then how do you transmute that into, your own steps and moving forward to feel better? And I found in the healthcare system, which I have to say, it's been very soft and gentle, and everyone's been really kind, and so I do appreciate.
I think most people go into most people go into the medical industry because they are essentially do-gooders. They want to help their fellow man, their fellow woman, their fellow child. They really do want to help. It's just that it's a system, and the system is now basically run by lobbyists in Washington and basically insurance companies.
So how do we
and drug companies?
We take the information, as I've navigated it, and I've found the ailments or whatever it is. How do we navigate it and then parlay it into our own lives? And I want to say too, most people, if you go into the healthcare system, 9 times out of 10 they're going to find something wrong with you, right? So it's just a matter of I guess just not feeding into the fear, and then adopting practices that will help you to
Stay elevated above it, above the fear.
and to keep yourself out of that arena as well. Then like hydrate your system, to
Keep your
of course,
system juicy with exercise and stretching.
and we always encourage adopting a plant-based lifestyle, and I know it's not for everyone.
Or maybe 3 days a week you eat plant-based.
Or just,
just to give the
looking at-
liver a little bit of a break.
We've talked about the troublemaker foods. We've done a chat on that, and maybe shrinking them down in your day to day. So you know what the troublemaker foods are, and maybe just doing less of them, and especially like the highly processed foods.
Get rid of them
No
entirely.
go,
Get
you
rid of
know?
highly processed foods. They are doing you no service, and they're actually working against you because they're so loaded with chemicals. You are just literally just overloading the liver and the kidneys. It's a lot.
So we take in tons of organic fruits and vegetables,
And in the first part of the day, it's a lot of fruit because fruit is so hydrating. It's so hydrating.
so we always want to encourage others to do the same, and
Or to just try it. I mean, we're all individuals. We all require different things, and we're all at different places, moving at different paces. And that is the beautiful thing about this world that we live in. We're all so diverse and so different, and there isn't one answer for every single person.
No, we have different needs.
We do. We
Yeah.
all have different needs, and so just recognizing that and diving into a little more self-care, which I think, especially for women, has looked at something that's just completely self-indulgent, and and who has time for it. It's really the thing that we should all make time for, because I was just listening to Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She was basically saying that if we are not diving into self-care, then the human being that we are putting forth to anybody that we're dealing with is one that is toxic. There's a toxicity level that we bring because we're not caring for ourselves, whether it comes out in our behavior or in our health or, whatever. It's like these things are really, really, really important. And as we are moving in that aging process, as we are advancing, it becomes paramount. It becomes something that it's like, if you don't do it now, when? And it's probably going to shorten your lifespan, by not taking care of yourself, by not saying, I'm worth that run in the morning. I'm worth going to that boot camp. I'm worth switching up my diet just a little bit. I'm worth organic. I'm worth it.
Well, our thing is always organic plant-based foods.
It is.
And then we also talk about meditation and yoga and exercise and mindset, because
Excuse me.
a lot of people that don't eat super healthy food, but they have an amazing mindset, might blow you away with where they go, because their mind is just really like,
Yeah.
they're in alignment with
Maybe they don't need that super healthy food because their mindset is so on that it kind of just transmutes everything into positive. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. I mean, you can actually do things like that.
Yeah, so it's all interconnected, and
Or it's
all
my truth.
Yes, your truth.
It's my truth.
Our truths aren't maybe your truths, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
I mean, I read somewhere else that all truth is a half truth, because my truth might not be your truth. And so how can that be a truth for you, just because it's a truth for me?
So we always like to make food that's, on couple spectrums, super healthy, and also trickery, healthy.
Yeah.
Where when I say trickery healthy, it's like it might be more fat-based, more raw and stuff. And for us, like, that really does the trick, and it's always better than the crappy processed food
Yeah.
on the shelves.
It's like better to have one of our plant-based pistachio Snickers than it is to go into the store and buy a Snickers that is one of those highly processed foods that is giving you absolutely zero nutrition and is an empty calorie. It's
Well,
not worth eating.
I mean, how many
other
people-
than for that satisfaction of taste and flavor.
How many people say to you that ingredients don't matter, that they don't look at ingredients? And I find that to be mind-blowing, because we're not in the 1950s. It's 2024, and ingredients do matter very much.
And they've changed so much from since that time frame.
Because it might not seem like anything when you have a little snack and it's like the ingredients are canola and all this stuff
or
and
you can
dyes.
you can look at, like, say, your mom's generation. Her mom is 87. That generation of people were eating healthier food because our planet wasn't as toxed out. Our food systems weren't what they are right now. Our soils aren't what they weren't what they are right now. Our waterways weren't what they are right now. It's like we aren't being pumped full. We've got the cell phones, we've got, if you believe in chemtrails, whatever, there's all of this stuff going on, and we're just not living in the same place. So somebody like her mom might not have a gluten intolerance because of how what she was raised on.
Well, the ingredient, the quality of the ingredients was way better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I wouldn't even want to say there is many products and foods in the marketplace and on the grocery store shelves that are high quality and
Yes,
awesome,
there
and there's more and more, and thank God for that. But there's so many that are very poor quality, and based on cost of goods and things like that, people are just buying what they can afford, and that's really a shame.
It's
it
a bummer.
really is.
I mean, it's one of those things where, life isn't fair. This would be a really great place to make fair. It would be so amazing if our government began to subsidize organic farming and sustainable farming. It would just be so amazing, because it would begin to level this playing field where more people could move that direction, and it would naturally improve everybody's health.
Mental health, physical health, personal relationships, everything benefits when you feel better within yourself. All areas of your life start to improve when you have a better natural state of well-being. And so that's pretty much what we like to talk about. And so I appreciate all of you that are gravitating towards this state
I have to make a suggestion. Totally. I think we've talked about her before. She was a really great customer when we had our business in Portland, and she would come into our Pearl location. Her name's Dr. Casey Means, and it's like, she walked away from the medical industry. She went to school to be a surgeon. And
spine surgeon?
I was a spine surgeon, I believe, yeah.
Studied at Stanford.
I mean, this woman spent, how many years does it take to move through medical school and then your residency, and then you begin? I think it's probably 8 to 10 years based on what it is you're doing. And as soon as she got done and stepped into the medical system, she realized it was just that. It's a system, and it was one that she didn't feel was good, or healthy, or actually helping people.
I don't know if it wasn't good. It was just that nutrition wasn't talked about,
which is key.
Nutrition is such a big thing. And so what I found in my latest indoctrination, I guess, of moving through the system, is that I'll talk about nutrition, but nobody's talking to me about nutrition. And fortunately for me, I'm so thankful to have this kind of
background.
Backbone of knowledge that can help me navigate, to stay hydrated, to eat foods that I know that are nourishing my body, that aren't clogging my system. And I do eat foods that clog my system. I love fat, and at the same time, I know ways to work around that to improve myself. So I'm super thankful, but a lot of people don't have this information, and so that's why we like to share tricks and treats, recipes and ways to
be able to indulge, to be in the world. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a major sweet tooth. I like to eat sweets, but you know what? I had to find a way to eat sweets that actually were beneficial for me, that actually had some sort of a nutritional value.
So whatever we share on our page is all
bridge food.
It is bridge, and it's
coming from one side of the bridge of all processed and the standard American diet, to just begin to walk over this bridge and see that there's ways that you can sate all of these desires of taste and texture and and whatever it is that that takes you towards whatever it takes you towards eating, that there's always something over that bridge that can emulate what it was you had on that other side that was super processed. I mean, I have to say, every single recipe that we did in our Pixie Retreat locations in Portland was based on something that I loved or we loved as kids, that were not necessarily good for us, that we wanted to emulate and make into a healthy version. For example, my grandma used to make me BLTs as a little kid, and I loved them. So we started making a mock BLT, this little raw sandwich that was like a version of a BLT, and it sated that for me.
The bacon was dehydrated eggplant. And so we never wanted to feed anyone
Anything we would not eat ourselves.
exactly. And
So there was no cutting of corners. None.
everything that we shared and we continue to share is stuff that we truly believe in. And there's been an evolution in our own process of
For sure.
understanding on how to embellish our own well-being, I guess. And food is such a major component. And also, our minds are a huge component in terms of like talking ourselves into becoming better, feeling better, improving. And so it's all very connected. A lot of the people that we listen to, thought leaders and stuff like that, law of attraction and stuff, they don't necessarily talk about food. They're
No.
talking about the way that you're feeling
Yeah.
and how to like rewire your brain and stuff like that. And it's all very connected in my mind. I think it's all plays a part together. So I think we just wanted to basically briefly touch on how to advocate for self, and have we done that?
Have you advocated for self? How have you advocated for self in this process that you've been moving through?
Well, I did talk about massage and acupuncture, and I haven't found any leads,
Now, I know if we were back in Portland, there's acupuncturists and massage therapists on every freaking corner. Here, it's a little bit different. We're in a different place, so trying to navigate something.
Well, no, they exist. It's just when you're moving through a system that's about, hospitals and stuff like that, they're not necessarily going to direct you to acupuncturists.
Something more naturopathic.
So
something
they
more
definitely
holistic.
exist here for sure. But
I know that they exist. I'm simply saying that it's like, it would not be weird to meet somebody, like, for example, I had this amazing doctor when I first moved to Portland. She was a young woman named Amanda. So when I was dealing with Amanda from OHSU, this doctor that I had for a brief period, she was just amazing. She was very open to me discussing with her food, nutrition, massage therapy, acupuncture, these different forms of dealing with health and moving energy, basically. She was totally open to it, whereas I feel like every time you've attempted a conversation in that realm here, you're kind of looked at like you're an alien.
Well, because I think
It's just
the way
not-
that
it's
the
not a
system's
topic.
set up, they're maybe not all interconnected, so they're not going to benefit from advising me. And I'm just speaking, I don't really know this to be exactly true, but they're not going to be benefiting from advising me to see an acupuncturist when that's not going to hit their quotas financially. And I'm just talking off the cuff, so that's just my impression. So what I'm doing is I'm gathering the information. I know what I'm dealing with, and then going forward, I know how to better advocate for myself because I know what has come up based on the car accident, and then what I can do to better benefit myself, through movement, through physical therapy and activity, and through
Meditation
food
and food.
meditation, and also feeling and really feeling my way through it, because if things don't feel good, I need to back it up, and if it's feeling good and it's working for me, I need to keep moving forward. And basically that's what I've been doing at this stage in the game. So we just want to encourage you to advocate for yourself and to really look at your own personal health care as being something that's really important to your overall well-being as you move through life, because it's really, our health is really all we have at the end of the day.
Well, our health is our wealth. It's our greatest form of wealth. You know, it's like so many people get to the age that I'm at and things are just going wrong because, you know, it's like the choices that have been made, they weren't good at the time or bad at the time. There's no judgment around any of that. It's just looking at where we're at right now and making some better choices, making some new moves. I mean, honestly, if we just continue to do what we've always done, everything's just going to stay the same. We have to sometimes walk through new doors. And I would say even for us in this food realm, it started one way and we're sitting at a different place than where it started because we're not the same people we were when we first got started.
We have a lot
I
more
mean, I was like
information.
39 years old when I first got started on this. I'm now about to be 59. That's a 20-year span, and where I started is not where I am now. And that's the same for everybody. It's like these little steps lead into like miles of terrain that we began to realize that we've covered. And every decade for me, I've really realized that there's certain things I need to let go of so that I can acquire some new tools to move forward on this next decade that I'm in.
And we're certainly not perfect.
God, no.
So we definitely have our foibles, and
Yeah.
we definitely have our pitfalls and things we fall off. And so, like I said, we know the things that we choose to do that create the ailments. You know, we have our things like our what do you call them? It's just the pitfalls. That's what they are. But it's more easy to understand when we know what the parameters when we're working with. But when it comes to other bigger things, especially drugs, we don't know, and so I'm just more hesitant. But
Well,
I can
and-
see the value when it comes to like I said, acute issues. They've helped me through acute
I mean,
stuff.
my mom, for example, is 76, and she had me when she was really young. I'm her first kid, and she was really young when she got married, super young, and had 4 of us by 21. And she is somebody that is allergic to most drugs. So when she was in a really bad car accident in 2023, was it in 2023? Yeah. She literally, a bone came out of her arm. And because she cannot take painkillers, they had to just push that thing back in. And I feel like it's almost been to her advantage that she's allergic to all these drugs because she just hasn't taken really any drugs her whole entire life. And she really is one of the most healthy people that I know.
She's really an amazing example for us. I mean, so thankful for her.
She
And
really
she
is.
sends essential oils and CBD and really beautiful ingredients of things for me to deal with vertigo and stuff that I've been dealing with.
I mean, she's always looking
When you look
for...
at the ingredients, it's like I can back up everything she sends.
Oh, yeah.
She's kind of like a beacon. I don't really know anybody like her, so I really appreciate her insights and the way that she maintains her beauty and her health through natural practices, having like a natural doctor for many years. And so
I mean, she sees regular doctors too. She goes and has her annual physicals and stuff like that. But she has been working with this doctor, this naturopathic doctor, for the last 25 years. But that person came into the picture because of the autism in our family. This next generation of my siblings that have had children, nearly all of the kids have had something on the spectrum. And this particular naturopath has literally worked like what would look like miracles. But it's all been through diet, it's all been through exercise, and it's all been through supplements. And that's just been really, really empowering.
And essential oils.
And essential oils. Mhm.
So for us, we use essential oils, and all of the products that we use, from our toothpaste to literally everything, even the kind of
Everything.
toothbrush we use.
Yeah.
It all has like redeeming qualities to it. We're not using Colgate, you know.
Nope.
We use filtered water. We
mean,
eat
and-
organic food,
And this has just been a journey, you know. It's just been a journey of this being, I guess, both of our special interests since we were kids, really. I mean, to be completely honest, mine started with an eating disorder, and I think yours probably did too. You know, and in some ways, I look back at that time frame that I had as a girl into being a young woman, and it was a really hard time frame. But I look back at it now with almost fondness, because I really think that it was helping direct me in this direction of constantly seeking health and wellness remedies for
Well,
myself.
I mean, we've definitely been looked at as freaks.
Totally.
And like we still have an eating disorder.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we have issues, and we need to be more normal and like let loose. But and when it comes to certain things, I don't feel like I'm being restrictive at all.
I don't
I'm
either.
being,
I feel like I eat like a queen. I really do.
We found the mecca of satisfaction.
Yep.
And everything we eat that we make at home is extremely more satisfying than anything I can ever get when I go out. I mean, it's
so
rare.
true.
We always seek it. Everywhere we go, we're seeking out organic food, vegan, and it's challenging.
It really is.
So I feel it. I feel you. Those of you who are seeking to, and like maybe you live in a place that doesn't have anything, and like
Yeah.
you have minimal resources, and you don't know where to start, and you're told you have to change up everything, and so I can see
just
how
seems
it's
so overwhelming.
It's like a mountain
Yeah.
that you have to climb. But there are resources, and thank God for the internet.
Thank God, really, for like YouTube and Google and everything else. It's like,
And all the small businesses.
and all the small businesses that pop up to try to serve these needs. I mean, that's what we were trying to do as well. Unfortunately, it's a really expensive route to take as a business, and it's hard to make any money. It's hard to sustain it. But, you know, I feel really proud that it was something that we did, because we really did help and benefit so many other people.
Well, we wanted to help and benefit ourselves first.
Oh, for sure.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because if we can benefit ourselves first, then we can better benefit others.
It's really
so
true.
that was our intention, but we still had that same intention, and we just want to be a resource for people to know that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's so many ways to access information anymore these days, and it's just been really powerful to be able to share.
I think the next thing that we really need to do, like we did in Portland, was create a community really around this kind of stuff, so that there's a forum where you can go to, and there really is, so many people are doing this already, but just having these forums and other people that are dealing with some of the same things that you may be dealing with, that I may be dealing with, that we have we've got community to share and learn and grow.
I mean, I'm pretty regimented with and not in a bad way, but with how I maneuver with the food that I eat and stuff like that. And yet, I still find myself dealing with issues, especially since, you know, being crashed into.
Well, but also, like I was saying earlier, it's like you have to understand that as we move along, I've said this so many times, it ain't nothing to look good and feel good in your 20s and 30s. It's those decades beyond where we begin to accumulate in our organs toxins and toxicity that eventually will reveal itself in some form of a dis-ease. You know what I mean? And so if we can just begin to realize that by first off taking care of our liver, or just like, you know, once in a while giving our liver some love by, you know, not taking in radical fats before noon, maybe having meatless Mondays, maybe having, you know, a couple days out of the week that are plant-based, you know, spending the first part of the morning really hydrating our systems, realizing that fruit is our friend, not our enemy, as so many medical people have put out there, especially around diabetes, that fruit is bad for you. Fruit is loaded with water, and our bodies are primarily mostly water. So we should be constantly hydrating our systems. And yet we take in, like, so many people, it's like their drink of choice is not water, it's Diet Coke or some sort of soda. You know what I mean? Or some sort of energy drink. These things are killers. They are really, really, really bad for you. No judgment. I used to love my Diet Dr. Pepper, and way back in the day when I was moving through my eating disorder, it was Tab. And I lived on it, and it was so bad.
Ice cream, is that what you do? Like, is that when you do like the ice cream and the root beer?
No, that was like when I was a kid and go and have pizza, and I'd get like a root beer float. I loved root beer.
I mean, there's so many plant-based ice creams too on the market.
Oh,
but
sure. And you can emulate all of this stuff. There's all these different ways anymore. It's getting so much better that there's all these different ways to have those things that we enjoyed as kids when we were footloose and fancy free, and we didn't think about any of these things because we didn't need to. It wasn't that time frame. But fast forward, and we're seeing now, it's like the statistics around what's going on with kids is mind-blowing.
Well, kids don't know any better, and that's the
But
thing.
I'm just saying, it's like the level of processed foods that are out there, the things that are served in schools, it's mind-blowing.
Well,
It
there's
is
a movement.
mind-blowing.
There's a movement happening about kids and food.
I mean,
and-
this is the
and-
future. These are the people that are going to be running the country. They're going to be the people that are making decisions for those of us that are in my age range and older. And it's like, this is the future, and they need to be looked at and cared for.
Well, I believe that America is on the cusp of making change with the food system. I
hope so.
I really believe so, because there's just so much conversation about it these days.
I mean, if we can change our food system, do you even understand how you want to make America great again? Change the food system. That's the first thing to do, because once we get healthy in our bodies and our minds, there is nothing we can't do.
Well, anyway, I hope that, if you have any questions, we're here as a resource. We obviously don't know everything, that's for sure. But we do have a lot of information to share, and we really just want to use our channel as a source of inspiration and kind of guidance, because we're moving along together. And, we're here for you. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. If you liked this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really, really does help us grow our channel. If you can, listen to it all the way through. That also really helps. And share our videos. Get
And
your friends
ask
to
questions.
subscribe. And yeah, ask questions. We love to share information. And the other thing that I will always, always, always say is, don't trust us. If something resonates with you, do your own research. Dive into it. It may just be that thing that sparks a new journey for you. That's how it started for me. So anyways, again, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe. Please share. Please listen to us. And
Please have an amazing day.
yeah, have a gorgeous day. And we'll see you next Thursday.
Get you some.
Peace out, everyone.